Welcome to the Gaming Coop, the best space to talk about Yahoo! Let's introduce today's players. Player 1, may I offer you a papaya in these trying times? It's Matt.
Oh no, Chris. Oh no.
Player 2 is the third Mario brother. Due to being separated from his brothers, Mario and Luigi Mario at birth, he puts his own spin on the classic formula. His catchphrase is Papa Pia, and instead of jumping on enemies, he prefers to befriend them and recruit them for a D&D session. It's Walsh Mario.
Walsh Mario.
Yahoo.
Player 3. Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with a letter of his first name on it? Because I don't. It's Chris. Player 4 has to apologize when he starts moving and grooving because he makes the whole place smell like garlic. It's Wario. I mean, Anthony.
Sniff it up, bitches.
Player 5 shall be the delicious mustard on that bread, the mustard of your doom. It's Kelsey.
Oh, okay.
That
I'm
one
assuming
was
that's from
awful.
I'm oh.
So
I'm assuming that's from a movie.
That's from your video game, Kelsey.
It's from the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fawful says
It's
it.
a false quote.
Oh, when?
I don't know.
All right, it's
When they're
okay.
on the
It's
ship.
all right. Oh yeah, I do remember
Picks
that.
up
I do remember
glasses,
that.
Actually, it's from chapter 1.
guys, I was able to take a quote from the Mario movie.
I know. That is wild that we have reached the post Mario movie world.
Where's Leonardo DiCaprio? Because we're in Inception.
Oh, no.
Oh, so I picked that one, but I was so close to picking because I haven't seen the movie yet, so I was gonna just pick a line from the trailer,
Sure.
and I was so close to just doing Bowser is coming.
You know what? That's fair.
I would
That's
have
fair.
respected it.
Yes, the Mario movie, which is now $1 billion deep and counting already, and it's not even. Oh no! Oh, it's almost a full week, I guess. Wait, no, 2 weeks.
No,
Never mind.
it's almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. Sorry, I'm losing track of time. Anyways, we decided to pivot away from the initial idea for this month because it is the month of the Mario movie, and decided we were going to talk about our favorite Mario games. Now, because many of us are huge fans of the franchise, it's hard to pick just one to talk about. So we'll definitely be giving time for honorable mentions and stuff. Either during people's segments or at the end, whatever we want to do. But we're going to start off with what Mario's known for: platforming. All right, this dude loves to jump. He's a known jumper, and
He jumped me and took my money.
Yes. That also known for doing a lot of illegal stuff. But at the end of the day, what's not illegal is this beautiful game that is Super Mario 3D World. And Matt, you're going to talk about it.
Yeah, so Super Mario 3D World is probably my favorite 3D Mario game. It's between it and Odyssey for sure. But I wanted to talk about 3D World just because I think it's like, I don't know, very, very conflicted on which one's my favorite. I'm going to talk about 3D World because I want to.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
Yeah, so Mario 3D World, not too much different from like most other like types of Mario games, in the sense that it's a platformer. You run around, you jump, you achieve objectives, right? But I really like how it's the 3D platformer that's designed like a 2D platformer. Mm-hmm. Where there's a time limit, there's like a few power-ups or a few collectibles you got to get per level, and just finding all of them and like redoing all the levels is just a lot of fun. It's Mario at its core. It is like the Mario game in my eyes. I also really like that there are 4 playable characters throughout the main part of the game. There's Luigi, who can jump really high. There's Peach, who can glide a little bit. There's Blue Toad, who is super fast, and then there's a 4th one. But it's just fun. I always choose Blue Toad. I always choose Toad because I like the running fast, and I'm usually impatient. And try to beat these levels as quickly as possible. Even though I like really love going through the levels, I still I gotta beat them as fast as possible, just because that's how I like to play. The other fun part about it is that it is a co-op game, and it's probably my favorite Mario co-op experience. New Super Mario Bros. U has co-op in it, and that's not a fun co-op. Mario Odyssey does have a fun co-op, but like one person's got to be the hat. So it's not quite as like engaging, but this one's like all 4 players are an equal playing field. You are competing for the crown for the most points, and you can just fuck each other up, throw each other off the ledges, but like not in a bullshit way like in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. It doesn't feel bullshit when you get thrown off the ledge, because usually it was of your own doing. Level designs are great. Music is phenomenal. It's my favorite soundtrack in the series, even over Odyssey, even over Galaxy. All the jazziness just is the identity of the game. That fucking credits theme. Just the build up and then the spectacle of it all as a credit scene. It's my favorite Mario soundtrack. It's just really fucking good. The main game is stacked, just 8 really solid worlds, ending off with World Bowser, which is really fun world, and that even main theme, very good there as well. Just a really fun main game. The bonus levels are great. You unlock Rosalina in the end, and she plays kind of like Peach. I don't play as her because she's by that point I've played Toad so much that playing a slower character is agonizing. But even all of, like the side stuff, like there's different paths on the world map that you can take to go to different levels and like and get to some early. And then there's the Captain Toad stuff, which are like little fun puzzles that definitely work better on the Wii U gamepad, and that's the one difference of the Switch version compared to the Wii U one, where the Wii U one is better just because Captain Toad is like made for the Wii U. But overall, really love the game. Really love all the side stuff. And the final challenge in Mario 3D World, Champions Road, is probably one of my maybe top like 5 levels of all time. In any game, definitely Mario, but in any game, it is the Mario games around the like. I guess there hasn't been one since Odyssey, but like past most 3D Marios at this point, since Galaxy 2 really, have had one insanely hard challenge at the very end. And in 3D Worlds, it's Champions Road. It's the type of challenge where you got to do the whole thing without dying. Otherwise, you start over. Mario Odyssey's wasn't quite as hard. It was still like challenging, especially in its length. But Champions Road, especially if you are a Toad player like myself and have a low jump, it is one of the most satisfying, yet one of the hardest things to pull off. But oh my god, once you finally do it, it is like you have conquered fucking Mount Everest. I really love it. And then obviously, like, you know, it's got the catsuit power up. And Bowser uses it in the final fight and becomes Meowser, which is like, I feel like they wrote the name Meowser and then designed a game around it because that's how well it fits as a name. Those are my 3D World thoughts.
Yeah, I love 3D World a lot. Really did not play it like hardcore, at least until the Switch version. And just had a blast doing it. There's a part of me that still wants to go back and, you know, push towards doing a lot of the levels and 100%ing stuff. But I do think it is such a blast. You know, every single level feels unique from the last. I love a game that isn't gonna feel samey from start to finish in terms of, like, I like when they change things up, where they change up the mechanics of a level, or instead of the level being slow and more focused on exploration, you have one that's focused on, hey, here's a level where you get on this dinosaur Plessy and just start swimming down this large like river stream. and I love like the variation of that in the gameplay. I love it, and I loved the fact that they made a spin-off off of 3D World with Bowser's Fury, which we've talked about before on here. Yeah, it's a great time, and I would love to see them do something like it again. 'Cause I know that a lot of people want a new 2D Mario, or they would want another Odyssey 2, or and that would be my preference. Obviously, would be to see a new Odyssey, but I also wouldn't mind seeing them do another game kind of that formatted around this, where it's a 3D Mario designed around the 2D Mario format. Um, and I think that it would. I'm sure that they would have plenty of ideas of how to execute it, and it'd be a lot of fun. Um, Anyone else have anything that they would like to say about 3D World?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The art style is really, really nice. Like, I know that every Mario game looks nice and has like a really vibrant color palette, but like it's clear that they were able to do something with the upgraded hardware with the port. Like, I'm gonna share a screenshot, and there's just so much going on that I really like the depth of field that's in the background, and like the translucent glass tube that looks really pretty, but just the overall vibrancy and the textures, it just looks so nice.
Yeah. It Mario. This is gonna sound weird to say this, but I think you'll understand why I'm saying it. Mario games just always look delicious. Like
Yeah.
they're vibrant, they're colorful, and especially the newer ones are so detailed that just like you love living in these worlds. You love experiencing them, and I think like I love Odyssey. I think one thing that I think definitely 3D World is tops Odyssey on is just how colorful and vibrant, and like just how it to me it matches so much of what Mario's core aesthetic has been over the years, more than I think Odyssey does, except for there's definitely moments of Odyssey that definitely fit with that.
Yeah.
I also just wanted to add that Kelsey, Chris, and I played this, and we were such little shits about the crowns at the end of the levels that we had to stop playing.
Yeah, it is insane how much that crown affects.
That we had to stop playing because we all were being little shits, or because I can't cope.
I think that there was some little shit energy radiating off of me. I think that's a safe bet.
Oh, okay.
That is the effect of the crown, is it turns everyone into little shits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
we when the Switch port happened, I think it was you, Matt, Gabe, and I forget who else uh joined us for that. But I remember I think it was like 4 players. I think Walsh might have been the other one potentially. I forget. Anyways, I remember the group of us ended up playing this game for a little while.
mhm.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I will also say that doing a playthrough of this is my last thought on it. This game also is like very nostalgic for me because I did a playthrough of this with my friends, and it was the last thing that we did, like major project that we did and kind of worked on before I went off to college when I was in high school. So
Yeah.
it is a just nostalgic in that way for me. I have somewhere too the commemorative cat ears, the blue toad cat ears that like were given out at launch. I may see if I can find them real quick, but I also don't want to miss anyone's segment. So
Yeah. No, I think I just love that everything was a cat in this game. Like no matter what, they're just like, let's make
Yep.
it cat.
Let's make a cat.
Make it is, to me, it's what Hollywood should be doing instead of make it baby, you know?
Yep. I'm fine with make it cat versus make it baby.
Yeah, 100%. And I love it. I love this game a lot. And like I said, I hope that we get something of this ilk at some point in the future again. That's not just a port like it was with the Switch. Yeah. So we move on from Super Mario 3D World and we move from the platforming to sports because Mario loves sports. He loves playing a variety of sports, and sometimes he likes playing sports with friends. And that is why Walsh is going to talk about Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
That, I mean, you really started like my talk here with kind of the exact thing I wanted to bring up. Is Mario? No, Mario plays all these sport games. You know, like Mario Tennis. All right, cool. Mario Golf. Okay, Strikers. Yeah, we're playing soccer. And then they're like, oh, what sport? What sport can we get Mario in? That's gonna. I know, Olympics. You know what? Fucking put Sonic in there too, because what are they doing? And this, I remember this coming out, was it 2007, 2008-ish? On the Wii, and it feeling like everybody had it. And then, of course, there have been other iterations too. There was the winter games after, and then they continued on with like, oh, these are the London ones, all the other ones after, all the way up to, I think it's fucking crazy, the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which is hilarious in itself, considering that we didn't have a 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
all the branding was at those Olympics was still 2020. To be fair,
that's wild though.
It is
but
crazy.
Yeah, like the first video game to not first, but like a video game detailing the events of a thing that technically did not happen.
Well, I'm gonna talk about I'll talk about it first. The 2020 Tokyo Olympic Mario and Sonic game. Say it all fucking backwards. Apparently, it had its own plot. Apparently, it's like its own story mode, and
it does.
Yeah, where Bowser and Eggman have like some like evil plot to capture Mario and Sonic, but they also get caught too in it. And then there's 16-bit mini games as well as like the normal Olympic mini games. My biggest thing that I'll be talking about, of course, the series itself, I think is crazy that it exists. But the fact that we have a Mario and Sonic Olympic series is almost hilarious to me. It feels like some like bargain bin idea that has taken off. That is nuts. And in the, with so many people talking about, oh, Mario's huge games that people love and people adore, being like, and then even the sports games, the party games, the racing games, being like, no, you could just play mini games with. It's the Olympics. Who the fuck? This game was actually one of the first games that introduced me to a lot of Sonic characters, strangely enough. Because I was like, oh, Sonic's a blue guy. I didn't really know much about Sonic being a kid. And then seeing like, who the fuck are all of these like Knuckles and Victor and like, who are these people? But it was so big, so many people having them at their homes, and then going to like Dave and Buster's and seeing like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games as a game to play. It is wild and it is surreal, and I really want to sit down and play the Tokyo one because I think it just becomes more and more surreal. This game taking the idea of something that is supposed to be this national pride of these athletes who have trained their entire lives to practice one specific craft. Mario and Sonic coming in and saying, hey, we're good and equally good at every single one. In fact, anybody can beat Sonic in the 100-meter dash, and anybody can beat Mario in the long jump.
Right.
So everybody try your best. Is it for nations? Is it for pride? No, it's for fun. We're just having fun mini games for the kids at home. And some of them are like, oh, this is kind of close to what the actual thing is. We're bobsledding and we're tilting one way and the other. Sure. But other ones are just like, this is just like press the button and ice skate, or this is just completely crazy and different. And I heard the Tokyo one is even more surreal. So I'm very curious to see how they go, and I think that's the right direction of not having to be too on the nose, like, oh, this is how you're going to do all the exact things that you would need to be focusing on to properly snowboard, to properly shot put, but just timing and making it a fun mini game is really all they need to be focusing on. And I think it's a strange, I don't know if it's a gem, but it's a strange creature that exists, and I wanted to put a little spotlight on it.
Yeah. I've never played these games. I think I had the first game, and maybe I might have touched it. I forget. I this whole series of games is a blur. Because you think about like Nintendo doing any, like when they outsource any of their properties to other companies, like Capcom having like developed a bunch of Game Boy Advance Zelda games, or Ubisoft and their Mario and Rabbids stuff, and then you have Sega. They're like, "What can we do?" Nintendo asks Sega, and they're like, "Here, do the Olympics." And I don't know. There's just something I really enjoy about that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely love the idea of it. I just recently played The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, which is actually really good. I really enjoyed it. I just love when companies take their IPs, or just the people that the characters that they have, and to put them in situations that they otherwise wouldn't be in their worlds. But like, we're just like, hey, how about like, let's just throw them into this and like just see what happens, see if we can make a good game out of it. And with Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, were they good? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that people talk about it, and there's some people that really enjoy it and love the weirdness of it, especially like the whole saga that happened of Wario not having nipples in the game, or whatever the fuck it was. And so, there's always some weird stuff here and there with the Olympics series. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy it. I want companies to do more weird shit like this.
Yeah.
Because I think we're a better world for it.
Wasn't there a game? I don't know if it was the Olympic one, but wasn't there a game where like they highlighted that it looked like Luigi was packing?
That's Mario Tennis.
That's
Okay.
Mario Tennis. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that inspired the Game Theory video on what penis size he has.
Oh yeah, that's right. The one
Oh.
everyone knows about.
Nice.
It has
nice.
seen. My history with Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games is I played 2 games. I got the original one for DS when it came out during the 2008 Beijing Olympics, because I didn't own a Wii at the time. But I played it for the DS, and at one point I had like gotten gold on every single event on all 16 characters. Like, I played the shit out of Mario and Sonic in the Olympic Games on DS, and some of those characters are not made for certain sports. Don't make me swim with Wario again, Jesus Christ! The worst time of my life.
He looks buoyant as fuck, so I don't know why that would be a problem.
Well, because like for the swimming minigame on the DS, you had to like trace certain shapes and patterns on the pad, and I forget which one. The 2 worst ones were a figure 8 and like a U that you had to go back and forth with. And those were just like really awkward to go. And then like characters like Wario have a high power stat, but they have a low speed stat, so they don't go very fast.
Is it because he has tiny arms? He has small.
I guess he's got tiny arms. I don't know. Sonic does wear a life vest in the water though, which is a nice fun detail. I also own the 2020 Olympics one. And it's cool. It's fun. It's fun for like an afternoon.
Granted, that when I say Wario has tiny arms, I don't mean like in girth, because he definitely has muscles. I just meant like he doesn't have like, I don't know if he's able to like
short.
swim. Yeah, he has a short stature, so this isn't quite balanced out.
I have a feeling this isn't the last time that Wario and Girth are going to be mentioned.
Oh yes,
Today.
yes. Another tease for later on. No, I love it. I love that you brought this to the table, Walsh, because it actually does make me curious. Like, man, maybe I should like see what Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. But by the way, that game came out in November 2019. So they had
Yes.
no idea. They truly
had
had
no
no
idea.
idea what was going to occur.
Who are you playing as?
Okay,
I gave you the roster.
Yeah, you just posted the roster on Discord.
See, when I was sorry, Walsh, I kind of like took over this part.
It's okay.
I played as Knuckles a lot as a kid because I actually knew the Sonic characters more.
I mean, I'd probably play Yoshi because that's like one of the like rotation of characters that I would play as. If I had to pick someone on the Sonic side, though, I like Tails, so
Tails is cool.
I'd pick Tails.
Yeah, what's going on? Like, is there a thing in the campaign as to why there's an evil Eggman?
I just noticed that.
Yeah, bottom right. I think that's a real Sonic character. I wish Gabe was here so he could answer that question.
I just wish Gabe was here in general.
Quick,
I do. Yes.
Somebody text Gabe.
All
That's true.
right. Let me text him.
I'm sure he'll respond to it at least.
Why is or what game is the evil Eggman?
Isn't he evil
from?
to begin with?
He is evil to begin with, but like he's got like
so it's Eggman, and then it's Sons of Anarchy Eggman.
He looks older, but he has a better fashion sense.
Yeah, but he's part of the original 6 or whatever it is from Sons of Anarchy.
Well, I do agree with Anthony. I those sunglasses that are like squeezing into his eyes in his normal stance.
Also, I guess his chin was cold because he's got his little sweater pulled up.
Aw.
All right, I did just Google it. If Gabe gives a response, I will read it. But I do have the name. Okay, you need to listen to me very carefully when I say this name.
Okay, cool.
Okay, his name is Eggman Nega.
That's way too close.
I think from Sonic Rush. It is Sonic Rush. But
Can
he's
you
like
spell the name, please?
Nega. I think it's supposed to be negative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So to answer your question, yeah, I'd probably play as like Bowser Jr. or I had to pick somebody in the Sonic cast.
Who's the one with the polka dot bow?
You know, oh, that's Wendy.
Wendy
I think
Koopa.
it is. That is so funny that they were like, "Fuck the other Koopa kids. Everybody loves Wendy."
I think
I'm going with Wendy. I like her baked potatoes.
Oh, Wendy's. Okay.
Oh shit! That took me way too long.
Yeah,
I was like, "Where do you see baked potatoes in this?"
For some of these characters, I'm not sure which ones. I think there's like maybe three Mario, 3 Sonic. They're like only playable for one event in the 2021.
Sure.
I don't know if Wendy's one of them or not.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, just looking at like physically and canonically, right? Like maybe a handful of characters have a shot here, and the rest are at best enthusiasts. Like, what the fuck are most of these people doing? Nothing. Look, what is Yoshi doing here, right?
Yoshi has a flutter.
Yoshi is one of the original speed characters. Yoshi's fast.
He's
compared to
fast.
Sonic.
Well, he's not as fast as Sonic, but like he's probably the fastest Mario character.
Anthony, Anthony, you had so many weaker characters to choose from, even Mario-wise. Like, what is Diddy doing here?
What is Bowser you chose Jr. Yoshi, who's like a known physical character.
Champion.
Wait, there's a robot here? Can you just create a robot for the Olympics?
That's how Metal Sonic works, I guess.
Test his urine.
Test his urine? All right, here's some motor oil.
Yeah, we tested the motor oil. There were no steroids.
Wait, isn't Rosalina like some kind of eldritch god?
Yeah.
Why is she here? That's not fair.
Is Rosalina the one that Mickey says smells?
I think it's Daisy.
Daisy might smell. Rosalina's top right. Daisy's in the middle. Top.
Yeah, I think Daisy.
Oh yeah, it's Daisy. Daisy smells. Okay.
Yeah.
But if I had to give my opinion, I think Knuckles smells.
I mean,
Knuckles
probably.
smells like Axe and BO.
Yes, neither cover up each other.
No.
All
Well,
right.
this
also-
has definitely
I-
taken a spin.
I also very, very vividly remember who was what type of like skilled player. Like they all had their different like stats and stuff, and they all specialized in a different one. I remember them for the original game very, very vividly.
Matt,
Matt, was this your segment or Walsh's?
This is Walsh's. I'm sorry.
no,
I will.
no.
I will
I was just gonna say,
concede.
Okay, my segment's next.
I appreciate so much that you and I are so similar in that we got so invested in the weirdest games.
Yeah.
I
I'm telling
love
you.
that. I love that we are akin with that together.
Walsh awoke something in me.
Yeah, listen, I don't mind the assist. All I was bringing to the table is look at this.
Well, you also you for the mid seg, you decided that you wanted us to do a little like recrafting of a specific movie that we've been
Oh
talking about.
yes. So I don't know if anybody's heard of a character named Mario, but for this gaming coop, you might have also noticed that we're talking a lot about Mario,
Yeah.
and so the reason might be because there's a Mario movie that is in theaters now.
Barely.
Man, I
anyone's
wish we
seen
were
it.
sponsored.
Not sponsored.
So
Not
I have
sponsored,
asked
Mario.
all of the members, and I asked them to send in these segment pieces before seeing the movie if they were going to go see it. But we are going to pretend and go back in time behind Illumination's doors and pitch the plot to the Mario movie. So I gave each of our group members a part of the movie to write, to just give a short summary of what might happen. So I split this into 5 pieces between Kelsey, Chris, Gabe, Kokos, and Anthony. Despite Gabe's absence, I do still have a part from him. I asked Kelsey to write the beginning / the call to action. We have Chris, who describes some of the big set pieces, the big action pieces that are going to be in the movie. Gabe is going to be revealing the big twist of the movie. Go Cubs will be describing the final climax of the movie, the big moment. And then Anthony will be hitting us with the dance party ending and the end credits. So I will be going through these one by one, and I'll say when I go from one section to the next. Are we all ready?
That'll probably be very clear.
Well, I'll ask you guys. Do you guys want me to just tell the story here, or do you want me to get in character and you guys get in character as like Nintendo, and I am Illumination, pitching you the idea?
I actually like the idea of us being the board of Nintendo and you pitching.
I agree.
Pitching us as Illumination.
All right. So, we thank you guys. Thank you for picking us to make the Mario movie. I know we do Minions real good, so we're gonna do the Mario guy real good. All right, you guys ready? Thank you so much.
Yes.
I believe they picked
It is
us.
I,
All right.
Mr. Nintendo.
All right. Oh, you're everybody's uncle. I met you.
I am everyone's uncle. I
All
can't
right.
wait to talk to my 1 million nephews and nieces.
All right. If you have any problems, just look to all of the boards behind me that I will be referencing. As I have, out of character, I have not read any of these. So let's see.
Good. Okay.
So
Okay.
no.
we have the beginning of the story. Mario is the openly gay owner of a drag club in Brooklyn called the Yoshi Egg. His life partner, Luigi, an effeminate and flamboyant man, plays Princess Peach, the star attraction of the club. They live together in an apartment above the Yoshi Egg with Toad, their openly gay, flamboyant Guatemalan housekeeper who aspires to be in Mario's drag show. One day, Mario's son, Donkey Kong, who resulted from Mario's drunken one-night stand with a woman named Fred Armisen, comes home to announce that he has been seeing a young woman named Charlie Day, whom he insists to marry. Although unhappy about the news, Mario agrees to support Donkey. Unfortunately, Charlie's parents are the ultra-conservative Republican senator, Bowser, and his wife, Spike. Mario and Luigi, with Fred along for the show, thus travel to the Mushroom Kingdom to try and appear as straight as possible to appease Senator Bowser and support Luigi in his quest to marry Charlie Day.
Why did we have to do any other work? Why did
All right.
any of us have to do anything else?
Wait, guys, we got to hear him out. We got to hear him
You
out.
gotta hear
Now
about.
that's the real setup of the story. But to really talk about the big action set pieces, what we can expect in a Mario movie, the action includes an extended adventuring montage that includes visiting various places in the Mario games. This includes Bob Battlefield, Wallace Fortress, Isle Delfino, Tostarena, and Fossil Falls. It is also here that Mario will collect many stars, shines, and moons as he begins to form a gauntlet of power to take down Bowser. The action sequence concludes with Mario soaring up to the dusty Garden Galaxy to get one last massive power star to be fully powered up. All right, so those are going to happen throughout the movie, and we're going to have them fully powered up
Okay.
until
All right. Cool.
we hit this big reveal, the big twist. So throughout the movie, it alludes to Bowser actually wanting Peach and pining from her. But however, little does anyone know that it's different than just her hand in marriage. He needs advice on how to get with Luigi and take his hand in marriage. So that's what he's after Peach for. So to ask what
actually
human
reflecting real life really well.
to ask what
It's
human
reflecting,
dudes
yeah,
like
yeah,
because
totally.
he is weak. So Bowser wants to know what human dudes like because he is weak in the needs for tall Italian men. And then we're gonna hit final climax. This is it. So Mario and Bowser, having collected their armies and whatever power-ups they'll be using to defeat the other, because now we mentioned here, they face off in a climactic battle. And as soon as they're about to fight, we hear a voice just off screen. Wait! It's Luigi. He steps between them, the armies staring at each other in confusion. He looks at Mario and says, "Hold on just a minute, bro." And he turns to Bowser and says, quote, "The last 40 minutes of whatever this was were the best days of my life. Bowser, will you marry me?" And then they kiss for the next 20 minutes of screen time.
How?
This is
How?
so that's non-negotiable if we're doing the movie. But I will say once we get to the ending, so all the plot's done. We're at the ending. Mario is back at his everyday job. He's smacking a toilet with his wrench and sighs as he can't unclog it. A bubble comes up from the toilet, and then a couple more. All of a sudden, it's bubbling up like a horrid soup, and Mario starts to back away from the toilet. It explodes upward, and a Koopa holding a cake pops out. The bathroom walls fall down, and the cast of the movie rushes in and lifts Mario up into the air. A disco ball drops and fills the scene with bouncing lights. Tub thumping by Chubbawamba plays, and the camera cuts to each member of the main cast. Mario, Peach, Luigi, Toad, Bowser, as they take turns naming drinks from the song. Quote, he drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. The camera cuts to quick scenes of the characters dancing with Mushroom Kingdom characters, enemies, etc., all dancing and having a good time in the background. Props like the Virtual Boy, Tanuki Suit, the One-Up Shroom, Poison Shroom, etc. are all used to varying comedic effect. A minion sees a toad eat a mushroom and make a noise in audible confusion. Mario takes turns spinning the Koopalings by their tail like he did Bowser in Super Mario 64, but everyone's having a great time and laughing. After the credits end, however, the camera shows a lush jungle. A limousine rattles through the forest and slams on its brakes at the entrance of a clearing. Ahead of it is a giant golden pyramid. The passenger doors swing open, and we only see fancy pointed boots step onto the ground. A clove of garlic falls onto the ground as the figure walks away, and the camera lingers on it. A gruff voice asks, "What are you waiting for, bro? Are you coming or not?" Camera cuts. End scene. And
I have no notes.
No notes. I as Mr. Nintendo approve this message. We just need we need many licensed songs to be sprinkled throughout the film instead of our soundtrack though.
You got one. Thank you for that. Now we need like
Oh,
50
yeah.
more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking very gay. A lot of gay seems
Yeah,
like a lot
really
of gay
gay.
kissing.
Let's just
Yeah,
we're cool. We're increasingly cool with it. We just haven't. We're just against putting much of it in our video games.
Assume a sponsor will be Bud Light.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
yeah, a lot of drinking, a lot of gay kissing, a lot of Mario power ups,
A lot of drag.
a lot of drag.
Yeah.
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 I'm here for it. I approve.
Sidebar: I think this is more coherent than the 1994 whatever year
it
was
might
Mario
be.
movie. It might be more
It
coherent.
might be.
It actually was remarkably coherent. Like out of character. I am
Yeah.
impressed that we all fell onto a very similar, very gay path.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the most impressed I was that. I mean, maybe I don't know. Did you talk to Gabe at all?
We
Matt?
had no conversation with each other about this.
Okay, so knowing that both of you guys went down the Luigi Bowser ship is fantastic.
So,
It's excellent.
I think I speak for the board in here when I say it's a little warm in here, and we need to see the 20-minute kissing scene. Just to preview it and
What
be
does
sure.
that have
course,
anything to
you.
do with the temperature in the room?
That would make it hotter.
I gotta go.
Honestly, that wouldn't like create the opposite problem.
I meant like it's getting too warm in here. Like
Right, but it would get warmer if we watched that scene.
Speak for yourself.
Oh.
Hi. Sorry, that hi was to Barnaby.
Instant mood change.
Sorry, I got
Barnaby's first appearance on the Gaming Coop.
He just literally popped through my monitors and he scared me.
Oh my god. Well, that was an utter
That was a
delight.
very good mid-seg. Thank you,
Yes.
Walsh.
It was a
Yeah,
fucking trip.
Thank you. I unfortunately, I'm going to be gone for the second half of the show, but I
Sure.
will leave it in all of the rest of your capable hands.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk some more Mario. I'm Chris.
And I'm Matt, and we're the Virtual Ball Boys.
During the NFL season, we will talk about the games and headlines on everyone's minds. Plus, we give our predictions for the weeks ahead.
In the off-season, we run our own fictional football league with tabletop gameplay mechanics.
Like that, listen to the Virtual Ball Boys on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts, and we will see you on the show.
Good night and good ball.
And we are back. It is time to continue this road down Mario. And I keep on talking like what's his face from Sunshine? The robot Flood. Mario. Anyways, so what we've learned thus far. Mario likes jumping. Mario likes playing sports, and Luigi and Bowser are going to be together forever. But another thing that Mario enjoys deeply is racing. And the Mario Kart franchise is near and dear to my heart. And so I initially wanted to talk about, or I was thinking about talking about Super Mario Galaxy 2, because I had already talked about my favorite 3D Mario, Super Mario Odyssey. But I wanted to revisit Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on this Coop podcast. We last talked about this game in episode 2 of the Coop.
Wow.
It was an episode. It was just the four, myself, Matt, Gabe, and Walsh were on that podcast. So Anthony Kelsey were not on that to talk about Mario Kart 8 with us. And it's interesting because we did that episode. It was the last game that we were talking about, and you guys were talking about how much you guys love Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and how much it's such a it is probably easily the best Mario Kart game. And I have been at the time I was kind of not on that same level with everyone, and it mainly came down to the fact that like I maybe it was because Mario Kart 8 was stale for me, or just I didn't fall in love with Mario Kart 8 the way I did in the era of Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart Wii, which were two of my favorite Mario Kart games. Um, and so I for a while I was kind of lower on Mario Kart 8, and part of it is because I didn't really love like the new courses that they added. I didn't really love like the roster characters. I was kind of sick and tired of seeing the same Koopaling person go by, or pink gold peach and whatever. Like I was just kind of overall somewhat disappointed with the game, and I knew I was an outlier on that, and I was, but I felt kind of bad that I felt like that, but it just is how it is. You feel like you feel about games, you can't really help it. But that changed in recent times, because last year we got a surprise announcement during the Nintendo Direct that instead of rolling out a new Mario Kart game immediately, and since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been selling like gangbusters constantly, like almost always in the top 10 in sales on a monthly basis, they decided, you know what, let's add DLC to to this game. And even that I was at first skeptical about. And what they basically announced was that they were going to add older courses to the game. And I quickly, after being like initially skeptical, I was like, okay, no, that's actually really exciting and really interesting. Let's see how it goes. And now we're a year into it. We're through 4 of the 6 DLC waves, and my mind has, I think, completely changed about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, to the point where I think definitively say that I think it is my favorite Mario Kart. I think it is the definitive Mario Kart. It is so delightful how much content is now in this game, and I love the fact that they decided to kind of come back to it and revisit it, because it is like, putting any biases that I had aside, like it is easily like the best like mechanically that Mario Kart has ever been. And I think you combine that with having this huge catalog of courses, both the new courses that they added, and then also throw in these throwback courses from games, beloved games throughout the entire series, and you have a just really awesome collection of and hours and hours of gameplay ahead of you. And every single wave has been such a joy to dive in and play through the courses in Mario Kart 8. Like, just to see the redone versions of these games, see the new versions of the songs that they've presented, in the way that the courses are now, how they look a lot more like they belong on a Nintendo Switch, versus being, being like a old school, like the old school look that they used to have. And it was that, to me alone, made it so much more exciting for me. And then you have what kind of began to transpire in from wave 1, where it was all almost entirely all games, all courses that were ported from past Mario games plus Mario Kart Tour. Um, and then you have wave 2 and wave 3, where you're starting to see courses introduced that are first debuting in Mario Kart 8. I think eventually end up being added to Tour, and probably going to be for Tour. But then you have these new courses that they're adding. And then you have what happened in this most recent wave, where they add in a Yoshi's Island course, and then they also add a new racer in Birdo, who has not been in the series since, I want to say, Mario Kart Wii, at this point. And the Yoshi's Island course is phenomenal. As someone who's a recent Yoshi's Island convert, it is so incredible how much detail they poured into the course. I think one of my favorite things is the fact that you have like the startup music, and then the obviously the music itself as you're racing, and then the when they show the results on the screen, they have the end level music that Yoshi's Island has. They put that into like the results screen, and I thought that was so freaking cool. Uh, and like even the detail of as you are launching off the last when you're launching off the cloud and about to land to the ground, you have the ability to fly into one of those question mark clouds that are flying around like that are in Yoshi's Island that you have the ability to hit. Once you fly into it, it opens up this red bridge that kind of goes above the track, and you could race on it into the big hoop that would be at the end of all the Yoshi's Island levels. It's just this super attention to detail that was just so just amazing to experience. And I'm like, holy crap, I forgot what like a brand new Mario Kart track was like. It that is like this amazing. Like it completely made me so excited to see what the future holds, not just for the DLC, but for future Mario Karts. Because if they could do this for Yoshi's Island, it would be so cool to see what more they could do within the Mario extended universe, or even if they want to go big and bold, do something like a Smash Kart where you have a bunch of Nintendo IP more involved in it, because they already kind of have that with Hyrule Circuit and Animal Crossing involved in the game as well. Um, and I also love that they're going to be adding more characters. Like that was not something that anyone thought they were going to do, and yet here we are. We're going to get 5 more characters by the end of Wave 6 at the end of this year. I just like I love that this game has just become the ultimate Mario Kart. You go in and you can do anything that any of the other Mario Karts have done. You can experience a lot of the same tracks from any of the games, and it just feels so good to play. And I'm back on the train of like, yeah, no, Mario Kart 8 is Deluxe is I think the best Mario Kart has ever been. And well, I'm eager to find out what the next iteration of the series is. This has been such a great way to tide us over while we wait for it. And so I love Mario Kart. I've always loved Mario Kart, and I love that I'm back in love with the series as much as I am since like when I was like in my teens playing the Wii version or the DS version. So yeah, that's my spiel on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but would love to hear from everyone else here about Mario Kart.
Waluigi on the Wiggler bike.
Yes. Oh my god, yeah.
It sounded like a code for something.
No, that's like what everyone uses online because
No,
it's like
I know.
the scientifically best. No, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is also my favorite Mario Kart game. The only other competition is Wii, and that's just because those are the only 2 games that I've played more than an hour.
You did play other Mario Karts?
Not really. No, I didn't have Mario Kart DS. Didn't have 3DS. Didn't have 7.
Okay.
64 can suck an egg.
Yes.
God damn, I am such an anti N64 guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mario Kart 8 just has like a great selection of tracks. Love the characters. Love just the way the fucking water looks.
Oh, it's so good. So
yeah.
good.
Like it's a brilliant game. Love playing it. I am a dry Bowser main.
Yeah.
Sometimes regular Bowser, but I switch between the 2.
I'm a dry Bowser main.
Yeah.
It's funny because no one's dry when Bowser's around.
But
Give us wet Bowser.
Give us wet Bowser. I guess that's regular one because like when your bones are inside you, they're wet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Your bones are wet right now.
Oh.
It literally made like a Sims level. Oh, you're grown.
Oh.
Oh.
Lubnar. in this game, like aesthetically, that's why I was like initially so disappointed in the way that Animal Crossing New Horizons looked, because the Animal Crossing course in Mario Kart looks fucking incredible. It's so good. Like everything in this game is such a high level of detail. Like I know I just talked so much about the Yoshi's Island. Like there's so many courses that are like that, and like I'll like I my feelings haven't completely changed about like the initial launch courses that Mario Kart 8 had, like where I'm like, I don't think there's one that like really sticks out to me, but everything since that point, any new course that they've added and continue to add, like they all just look so incredible. I know that there's some that like I don't know, they seem weirdly shiny and like the graphics are kind of weird with some of them. That's probably just them porting Mario Kart Tour courses, whatever. It's still Mario Kart. I don't really mind that as much. But yeah, just a grand old game. Anyone else have anything to say about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
I've never had so much fun with a game that I am so terrible at.
Yeah. It is like a lot of people call Mario Kart bullshit, and it is. To me the more bullshit one is Mario Party, in my personal opinion.
I would rather, like, if I was captured by an enemy country, right? And
Sure.
my like punishment while in captivity was that I had to pick a Mario game between playing Mario Kart and playing Mario Party. I would rather them kill me and send my head back to my family
Oh my god.
Whoa, that took off.
than play Mario Party. Because I feel like
I thought you were gonna
people
say that
get
for Kart 2.
so vicious. No, like to me, being offered Mario Kart would be a treat, even though I've never really played it extensively. Like I've enjoyed playing it here and there. I'm not very good at it. Rainbow Road gives me palpitations. But like I literally Mario Party is not nice. And it enables people to be not nice. And I don't like that. Anyway,
yeah, no,
this episode is not what is your least favorite Mario game.
Yeah,
But
no,
if it was, it would be Mario
Super
Party.
Mario 64.
Yeah. I definitely I feel bad for I feel bad for Walsh because we're just shitting on Mario Party.
No, that's fine.
But
He had to leave, and I'm sorry that he had to leave. However, it is best that he not be here for this this slaughtering of Mario Party.
Yeah, I don't like it, but
I will play it with people, but I
Sure.
you know, not for very long.
I also will say that all of my favorite Mario Kart tracks, because I have an obsession with Mario Kart big time, where I even keep track of like what tracks have been added to games and not have been added to games. So my top 10 favorite courses in Mario Kart are all in Mario Kart 8 now, whether they are remakes of the original courses or they were released for the first time in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like that's just how good the catalog is now in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like I love it so much. 3DS Rainbow Road is my personal favorite, I think.
I don't play for like the win. I pick my character and my vehicle purely out of like aesthetics.
Sure.
But I do remember in an earlier iteration of Mario Kart when Chris and I would play it as kids. So I don't know which Mario Kart this was, but I always picked Bowser and whatever the smallest vehicle was because it looks funny. But in like current times, I would always choose Yoshi. Is female Yoshi an option?
Now it is.
Yeah. So in like Mario Kart 8, that's what I would choose.
Birdo's not female Yoshi, Chris.
He knows what I mean, though. He's just translating for me.
Birdo.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Birdo.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's just translating for me.
Yeah. But yeah, like out of curiosity, just as a closeout to the conversation, do you guys have a track that you like that you, if you've played any, like if you know of any of the Mario Karts that you guys have played, is there a track that is like number one to you that you love dearly?
There's one that takes place in the desert.
There's a lot of those.
Yes, those.
Okay, fair enough.
Everything but the desert tracks.
Wait, I'm looking it up real quick. Other people talk, and I'll find which one I'm talking about.
Mine is from Wii. It was Coconut Mall.
Yes,
which is in Deluxe. But I think I gotta go with Sunshine Airport as my favorite. I really like Sunshine Airport.
Yeah, that is, I think, among the better ones. I think definitely for Mario Kart.
I changed my mind.
I do also enjoy. I also really enjoy Super Bell Subway.
Yes, that's one of my favorites too.
Yes, okay, you understand.
Yeah. What were we gonna say, Kels?
Moo Moo Tracks. Moo Moo Meadows.
Moo Moo Meadows.
I love
Yes.
Moo Moo Meadows.
Yeah.
Moo Moo Tracks sounds like an ice cream.
It does. It sounds like a Ben & Jerry's flavor.
It does,
yeah.
or like a Blue Bunny ice cream. Moo Moo Tracks. Yeah, no, because that's one of they're listing it here as one of the retro tracks. So I don't know if this was like part of the original Mario Kart 8 release or if it came out later, but it's part of the Shell Cup.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
it's
very good.
I remember liking this one because of the Moo Moos.
Yeah, it's nice to have a nice tame course, and those are nice and chill.
But the one that I was talking about with the desert, I'm pretty sure that I'm referring to the fuck, I lost it. Hold on, sorry.
Not the one made out of cheese, right?
No, why is there a desert one made out of cheese?
Yes.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. Smells awful.
They're calling it in the banana cup, it's called dry desert. I just remember it has the pyramids, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that is
all right. That's all. That's all I have to contribute. Clearly, I've played the game so much and know what I'm saying.
Cheeseland, I will say, I loved Cheeseland on the Game Boy Advance. I don't love the port version
because they made it a desert level,
right? Like they literally Cheeseland on GBA was you were driving on the moon that was made out of cheese, and it had a bunch of mice running around, and it was this beautiful like as beautiful as the GBA can be, as like a beautiful night like space sky. And like I guess because they already have space stuff with Rainbow Road, but I'm like, man, that could have been an amazing. You could have just done Cheeseland in space, like
you just literally started to sound like Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
sorry.
Only took the good of the space.
I do not want to be associated with that man.
Well, you sounded like him.
No, please no. All right. Anyways, we're moving forward here.
Hold on, I didn't get to say my favorite.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Thanks.
Wow.
I really only played the one Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I really love the Animal Crossing track.
Oh my god.
Oh
yes.
Which is just so incredible. It takes you through all the seasons, and it's the best looking Animal Crossing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And the Hyrule course. I'm so glad that they added Link to the game, gave Link a motorcycle, and the course is amazing as well with you collecting rupees. So cool.
Again, man, maybe I know it'd be like such a cash grab, but like, God, I would love like a Super Smash Bros. Style Mario Kart game. Like, I just think that team making a bunch of worlds from Nintendo and making a bunch of race courses based off of those worlds, like, that would just be incredible.
Literally, it's just like they cannot make DLC that I would not buy for a majority of their games.
Yeah, that is straight up. That's real. Yeah, those are real feelings that I have. All right, well then there you go. We've talked a lot of Mario today, folks, and we have more Mario to talk about. But Anthony is he's not as into Mario as everyone else here. Instead, another mustachioed Nintendo character has Anthony's heart, and he wants to talk about that today.
Yeah, so thank you, Chris. Everything you said is 100% accurate. I do like Mario. You know, I don't have a problem with Mario, but my heart belongs to a different mustachioed man wearing overalls. And that is Wario. So the game that I wanted to talk about was Wario Land 4. And I've talked about this game before on the Coop, so I'm not going to go super into it. But what I really love about it is that Wario is just such a badass. Like, Mario takes damage, he downsizes, he has lives that he runs through, but like, Wario is just slightly inconvenienced by whatever anything can do to him. Like, he gets turned into a zombie, he's like, ah, shit. And he just, like, turns back into a human. Or he gets set on fire and he just runs around until it's done. And he's greedy, which is great. Love a little greedy gremlin character who's just honest about what they want, right? He wants treasure, he's violent. So funny. It's so funny when characters are violent in the Mario universe. Because Nintendo and everybody else who makes kids games kind of wants to, like, do cartoon violence and be like, no, our characters aren't really violent. But Wario is there to fuck shit up, right? So I love it. And Wario Land, I've played Wario Land 3. I played it more when I was a kid. But I picked it up recently on the Switch online membership. And the first thing that hit me was how spooky it was. And Wario Land 4 is kind of the same way. Like, you end up in the middle of this dark pyramid that's made out of gold. And you get sucked into this painting. Kind of like Super Mario 64. And all of a sudden you hit something in the level and a countdown starts and the level starts to dematerialize. And then you get back out and everything's okay. And then there's these spooky bosses that you have to fight. And the music is scary. And it's just altogether a different experience. Like, I kind of feel like when you play a Mario game, you know what you're getting into, right? You know that it's like a comfortable, normal experience. Like, normal is the word I would use to describe Mario. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Like, Mario is beloved for a reason. And there are Mario games that I love, such as the one that Kelsey's going to talk about after me. And I love Mario Kart, and I love the Mario platformers. But when you get Wario, you kind of get to see them flex a different creative muscle. You know, one where they can be a little bit edgier, a little bit more scary, because they're not constrained by that same kind of creative goal. You know, you get to have a character who's disgusting, right? Who's bad and arguably evil, but like not in a bad way. So yeah, I've already talked about Wario Land 4 and what I like about it. So what I did instead was I created a spreadsheet while I was at work. And it doesn't pertain to work. It's titled Reasons Why Wario is Cooler Than Mario. And what I'm basically going to do is this is a series of comparisons between Mario and Wario. And it kind of illustrates why I like Wario more than I like Mario. And you can stop me at any point if you have questions.
Sure.
Approximately 90% of this is established canon.
Okay.
And if you want, you can ask for proof, but I don't have to give it to you. Okay?
Sure.
Okay.
100%.
Solid.
All right,
All right.
solid.
So Mario collects coins to get more chances to rescue Peach. Wario collects coins to buy shit that he wants.
Okay.
All right.
It's
All
relatable, right? It's relatable.
Sure.
Sure.
I
I
want
don't have a
shit.
princess to to rescue, so
Yeah, we all want shit, right? That's
Yeah.
why we're here. Mario,
That's why
Mario,
I'm here.
yeah. Mario eats mushrooms, and he becomes small and dies without them. Wario eats garlic and becomes a stinky bastard, but probably still is without them.
uh,
All right.
Mario can take a hit or two before crying about it. Wario cannot be harmed in any way that matters. Mario goes into paintings to help people and get stars. Wario goes into paintings to break shit, cause havoc, and kidnap birds.
Can I just say,
Don't
real
know if I
quick-
would count that as better, but
real quick, real quick. I just need to pause because I just realized that this is the second time in 3 months that we've had a segment dedicated to Wario. Like, because
As it should be.
as it should be, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, but I did my how I love Wario as a villain. He's one of my favorite villains, and now we're just like dunking on Mario with Wario.
You can't help it. Wario is just so interesting. He's a little gremlin.
Sure.
Mario works as a plumber. Nothing wrong with that. That's not a knock against Mario. Wario owns a video game company.
I can I actually people who own video game companies, at least especially nowadays, they're not necessarily the best people.
Don't compare Wario to Bobby Kotick, please.
Okay, all right.
But I think also the point is not necessarily that this is making Wario a good or better than the plumber, just cooler. Like there's a specific criteria we're going under.
Sure. Okay.
This
fair
is
enough.
This is right. Why reasons why Wario is cooler than Mario?
Yeah, and it's completely subjective, right? It's not an
It's
objective
completely
list.
subjective, but I am right.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and I'm not here to dunk on plumbers. I just wanted to say that Wario owns a video game company. I feel like that's noteworthy.
Yeah. Sure.
I didn't know it.
Yeah. Mario rides a green dinosaur and sometimes sacrifices it into deep holes for own benefit.
Wow.
Wario rides Cadillacs and motorcycles and throws his motorcycle at people when he needs to.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
Mario has a variety of kicking and punching moves in Smash Bros. But Wario has a fart move that generates power over time and eventually becomes fucking lethal.
Like you.
Guys, I will be right back.
Oh no.
To show you my fart move.
Okay.
Mario cannot say the F word. Wario can say the F word and chooses to. Mario try. Sorry, did you have a question?
Yeah. I was just curious. I didn't know Nintendo was allowing the F word to be said in their games.
Yeah, he goes fuck.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that. I have to listen back to those.
Yeah. Mario tries to rescue a princess, but she's in another castle. Wario rescues a cat who turns out to be a princess.
Alert.
Mario uses fire projectiles from a safe distance. Wario is rapidly approaching your location and building speed and momentum.
Oh no.
Mario counts on his friends to help save the day. Wario has a friend who is so powerful and so vile that Nintendo fears him and refuses to put him in any games.
Waluigi.
Yep. And Wario's other friends make video games and cool inventions. Mario always wears his trusty overalls. Wario has appeared in overalls, a cut denim jacket and jeans, and drag. Mario
That's
jumps
my
on
president
enemies.
right there.
Yeah. Wario throws enemies into other enemies, obliterating them both. And Mario canonically has completely normal yet hairless nipples. Wario canonically has a fat ass that Nintendo reduced after the Pope complained about it.
Wait, hold on. Did the Pope actually do that? Please,
No.
Okay, all right.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
I was hoping that was going to be a question that Anthony didn't answer.
Okay.
But yeah, they did nerf his ass though, actually.
But yeah, they did nerf his ass.
They did.
Well,
I like to believe that it's because of a papal missile, which is a type of document, not a weapon.
I also feel like I feel like they've nerfed everyone's asses. Like, have you seen the Mario movie Mario ass? Because there is none. There's nothing there.
There's not a lot of ass shots in the Mario movie, to be fair.
They removed everyone's ass.
No ass for anyone.
No one
Give
has
the
an
people
ass.
what they want.
Assless chaps. Give Wario assless chaps.
That's what I'm
You
saying. man.
cowards.
You cowards.
How many more do you have? I'm curious.
Oh, that was it. That was
Oh,
it.
okay, okay. Just
Yeah,
making
sorry.
sure.
I should have said something. We're all just chilling out,
All
like just
right.
reflecting on it.
Yeah. Well, look. I think I've played more Mario games than Wario games, so I think fundamentally I have to sit here and say like I enjoy Mario games more, but I do love WarioWare dearly. And I do just again, I've talked about it in February. Wario is a great villain. It's the great kind of villain where you could both root for him and also root against him, and you're having fun no matter what. Um, and yeah, Wario's a good old time.
He is. And what's next on my list is I want to play through Wario Land 3. I put probably like a half hour into it, and something that struck me is how genuinely creepy it is. Um, and I'm not underselling it. Like Kelsey was there, she can vouch for me. But something that's really cool is that there's a day and night cycle. Like if you go into a level and then exit, it becomes night. Do another one, you exit, it becomes day. But like the soundtrack, the enemies, what you can access changes depending on what time of day. But the entire feel of the game changes as well, with it being safe and happy during the day and a lot more spookier and creepier during the night. So yeah, that's next on my list. Hopefully I can talk about it at some point. But
Yeah.
I think that the Wario games are just overall really interesting and really creative, and I hope that we get to see more of them soon.
I just does anyone else have anything they would like to add about Wario?
Wow.
Because I wanted to throw one more thing out there. Anthony, have you heard people talk about, or have you heard of the game Pizza Tower?
Yes, I have
Okay.
heard about it. Yeah.
Okay, because that is like the WarioWare, the modern day WarioWare right now, or not WarioWare, Wario Land, I should say. Of it is a Wario Land style platformer that's basically does almost everything that's mechanically similar to Wario Land. Only it's done up as a guy that is a pizzeria chef, which I think it looks very good. I do want to play it at some point, but yeah, it's something that I think a lot of people would like to see is a return to Wario Land at some point. So we'll see if it comes up at some point soon. Maybe another one by Way Forward. The one that they made with the Wario Land Shake It was fucking
Yes.
a gorgeous game. And so I would love to see that a Switch version of that at some point. All right. Anyways, so we've covered Mario platformers, Mario sports games, Mario racing games, Mario Kart rather. We've covered Mario's or arch nemesis, but now we turn to another variant, a beloved variant of Mario, and that is a Mario RPG. And Kelsey, you're going to talk about the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Yeah, so I'm talking about Mario Luigi Superstar Saga. I'm talking about the original release for the Game Boy Advance, which occurred in 2003 for North America. Obviously, developers Alpha Dream, publisher Nintendo. This game is my very close, if not my favorite, tied for first. As far as Mario games. If you had come to me and been like, "Oh yeah, the Mario RPG," I would have been like, "Sure, yeah." Because I don't partake in enough games to know that I would have just been like, "It's a Mario game. What of it?" But I didn't realize that it was like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and therefore a part of the Mario and Luigi RPG line of games. So there you go.
Yeah.
But effectively, as an RPG game, I believe it was the first
Yes.
in the series as well, as far as RPG games are concerned.
In the Mario and Luigi series specifically, Paper
Yes.
Mario and Super Mario RPG came before this.
Yes, no, specifically in the Mario and Luigi
Yes.
RPG line of games. So roughly in the game, because I would very much encourage people who have access to the port through Nintendo Online to play the game, because it is so good, and a really just chill, nice game to be able to pick up when you'd like, unless you are like me and become very overwhelmed with the bosses, and then hopefully you have a husband nearby that you can hand the controller off to help mitigate the frustration so that you can continue enjoying the storyline, because that's all you're really invested in. Full disclosure, I'm not somebody who really enjoys like turn-based combat and stuff. So like if you're that person, again, you're going to want to have somebody you can hand the controller off to, because I get very overwhelmed and frustrated, but I'm so invested in the story itself that I can't walk away from it. But it's a very good game with those caveats. But my favorite thing about the game is that it's set mostly in what is referred to as the Bean Bean Kingdom. And the Bean Bean Kingdom really only exists in this game. There are references in other games, but like the Bean Bean people, the Beanish people rather, like they really only exist in this game, and then they like are seen vacationing in a later game of the series. But otherwise, this entire game revolves around these beans in the Bean Bean Kingdom. Both beans that you can find on the ground, the Beanish people. There's also a race of people called the Hooligans. And a lot of their language and everything that's referred to there, and in the series, in the game in particular, is references to laughing. So like the main villain's name is Cackletta, like cackling. And just a lot of little things in the game are referenced. But essentially the game is that you are the game opens up with Cackletta and Fawful, their little minion, essentially starting on a plot to want to take Princess Peach's voice and use it in order to collect the star, that the bean star that'll allow them to take over the world in that area. And so Mario and Luigi are summoned in order to help retrieve Peach's voice to begin, but as their adventure unfolds, they find more and more complications and issues and bosses that they need to plow through and fight. That is the general overview, because I don't want to give too much away, other than it is just very funny and very, very fun. Something I will highlight is that this more people are aware of this game with the remake that came out, which is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. And it was a 3D rendering essentially of the original game. So I did include like screenshots of the game in the doc that we had for the Coop. But the really just like I guess what would it be called? What's it called when they redesign something over it? I'm blanking on the name. It's been a long week.
Oh, a
Tuesday.
remaster?
No, but it's like when they do like a visual update. There's a word for it. Anyway.
So there's remake and remaster.
No, I know it's not what I'm looking for. There's like a word there's actually a word for like when the visual update happens. Forget it. It's okay. But it quite literally is just like they drop a curtain of 3D over the game. It's exactly the same, but the graphics are updated. Everything looks a little bit more realistic. I personally hate it. I love the original 2D. It's comforting to me. It's like classic. Here is a brief example.
It's like Disney movies.
Yeah, I feel this exact same way when it comes to animation. I am somebody who very much loves the original, but like I was able to find some screenshots of almost exact areas in the game and enemies. where you can see the difference between the 2D version of the original and then the 3D update. I totally understand the appeal of the update, and I understand why people would like it for the additional content of Bowser's Minions. I personally don't need it, and I really love the original. I just think that there's something homey about it. Something cool about this game too, which I am unfamiliar if exists in the other RPG games because I didn't play them, is there are 2 specific mini games that take place in the game that I think there's only 2. There could be more. Because I did not finish the game, full disclosure, because I'm still working my way through it. And I realized that as a kid, I thought that the game ended after you reach the summit of the mountain, which is like chapter 2 or 3 of the game. And I thought that was it. And I didn't remember anything beyond that point. And then I kept playing and I was like, oh, this game's a lot longer than I thought. So my favorite mini game is very early on in the castle. You meet 2 guards that have a jump rope and you have to jump as Mario and Luigi and make sure that you do not hit the rope in order to get past into the next area of the game. And it's so much fun and it can be very tricky. Part of my brain reawokened from like 2006 and I just like locked eyes with the screen and I did it completely 100%, no failures the first time because I just remembered the pattern from when I was younger. And it was very exciting. But then I'm trying to think, the adventures are just, they escalate in difficulty and complicatedness as you go, and you come across really fun characters. Like I said, the Beanish people are really exclusive to this game. So their rulers are Queen Bean and Prince Peasley, who are some of my favorite characters in the entire game, specifically Queen Bean, but because most of my conversation is going to be about her, I'm just going to fast forward slightly. Bowser is in this game. He is like one of the main antagonists. You meet him very early on and then you fight him again later, but in a different state, essentially. But the piranha plants are involved too. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. There's an entire part of the game where you end up underwater. The realms in the game, the difference in the different areas in the game, like you have Stardust Fields, and then you have the Hoo Mountain, but then you have a university, you have a desert, you have underwater. Like there are so many things and so many areas, and the variety and the people. It's just, you have an offshoot of the Mushroom Kingdom, a little fungi town, where these are like transplants of Mushroom Kingdom. And so it's all toad people. And it's very, very cool. And it's just so extensive. And then each and every area has its own soundtrack. And if you end up underground, they borrowed like from early iterations of Mario games, some of the soundtrack that they bring back into the game. So just very cool. Working my way back to Queen Bean, because this was really going to be the focus of my thing. When you first come across the Bean people and Queen Bean, you don't see her in her true form. Cackletta has gotten involved and fed the queen a little worm that makes her into a beastly creature, and I'm going to share that image here. So this is your first iteration of Queen Bean that you come across. It makes her into a muscly demonic creature, and you'll see in the first image that she has these big arms, these big muscly arms, and her pointy crown. You have to do the turn-based combat in order to deflate her arms and remove her crown in order to get her into a vulnerable state. But the true image of Queen Bean and what she actually looks like, and Queen Bean, I think, is a plus-size goddess. The representation that we have here is not seen again. She's one of the few, and I mean this truly, like I'm not trying to be like silly. In video games, as somebody who's lived my entire life in a fat body, if you look at media and in video games, almost always fat people are made out to be villains, bullies, or just flat out miserable, depressed, disgusting individuals. Like always. That is always how they are painted. Queen Bean is the representation of somebody who is unbothered, flourishing, ruler of her kingdom. There are comments made about her size and velocity in the game, but nothing that is too heavy-handed, no pun intended, or really like fatphobic and damaging. So I'm obsessed with her. And truly, I feel like nobody talks about her. Maybe because she's in this one game that not a lot of people play. But I think she's an icon. And in saying that, I went looking for more information on Queen Bean today, and I accidentally wound up in a really weird rabbit hole of Queen Bean fan art that I would like to share and discuss very quickly.
Cool.
Queen Bean has been imagined by many, I guess because of her features and her hair, as a black character, or black woman type. Her body, her hair, her features.
Black coded.
Yes. So people have done really beautiful fan art, like this one in particular I thought was absolutely lovely, where she is just pictured as this more human figured voluptuous black woman holding her little bean baby. Very, very cool. Here is also another piece of fan art that somebody did with different main characters from the game. And again, she's featured black coded. But then some weird things start happening as you get deeper. Things start to get weirder. And I'm going to share this, but I'm going to not safe for work it. And if anybody is not interested in seeing somebody having drawn a naked Queen Bean, don't look. But effectively for the crowd at home, it is a fully nude, overly exaggerated Queen Bean saying, "Oh, it's the Mario Bros. Seems you two taking a look at the Queen's royal breasts."
Wow.
And it is like a bashful Mario and Luigi in the corner, but very aggressively drawn. And then I was kidding, and when we first started talking about this, oh, I did not put the actual not safe for work tag. Thank you for doing that, Matt.
You're welcome.
Because it is absolutely not safe for work. It's not safe for most situations. I was kidding, and when I first was playing it in Queen Bean, I was enamored. I was obsessed with Queen Bean when she came back on the screen, and I remembered who she was and what she was about. And I was like, Lady D who? Everybody's talking about this giant woman a fetish that everybody has, and everybody's so into Lady D. What about Queen Bean? And then today I found that somebody drew Lady D as Queen Bean. And I didn't mean to come across that, and I didn't know about it at the time. But it is like the weirdest crossover fan art I've ever come across in my life. And to be fair, I don't look for this kind of stuff. I happened upon this. But it absolutely tickled me. I was cackling just by myself over it. Because it's really weird and I love it. But yeah, so overall, and one more thing that I came across, because this just made me laugh so hard, is when I was trying to I changed my profile picture to Queen Bean, because I just wanted to change it anyway, and it's fitting, and I'm obsessed with her. So, in finding Queen Bean, I was having trouble finding that exact image of Queen Bean in a downloadable format. It kept being brought to like the Wikipedia page, and it was downloading it as a internet extension, not as like a JPEG or anything. So I finally found one that I could download. But somehow I wound up on like a Spanish language Wikipedia for Super Nintendo fans. And it was a reference to Queen Bean. But what I'm extremely confused about is it lists, this is under Bonitas. So beautiful, beautiful woman. And it's Queen Bean, but there's Queen Bean antes era gorda, and then there's Queen Bean horribly photoshopped to, I assume, the extent of wanting her to look thinner. And she's called Princessa Bean underneath it. But when I tell you this is the most crudely done Photoshop job, and it absolutely fucking killed me, because it is like there was no effort truly put into this. Like, it is the worst shaped thing that I've ever seen in my life. And like her breasts are the same size, but now they look completely out of proportion and lopsided.
They look like shoulder pads.
They look like shoulder pads, and they just like moved her arms down for some reason, but they're like not even attached. And like they cut off part of her hair to make her face look slimmer. Like I don't even, but it cracked me up because I was like, this is the worst. Like this looks like it was done by like a middle schooler in paint. and it cracked me up. So I just had to share that because and I don't even know what at no point does she look like that in the game. This
No.
Princessa Bean, this doesn't
No.
exist. So this is for somebody else's purposes of whatever they were doing. I don't know because literally the rest of the page, everything is in Spanish, and I know very little Spanish, not enough to try and figure out what the hell they were doing here.
Bottom is something like before when she was fat.
Oh no, I know, I got that, but like as
Okay.
far as like the rest of the content on the page,
Okay,
no clue what they're really doing, and there's very few things that are actually written underneath Bonitas, and part of it just goes. It literally, I'll just send it because it's hard to explain. Oh fuck!
like not very edited wikias are not a safe place to be.
No.
Oh
but
yeah,
I just happened here, but it's just going, and I was like, that's how I felt when I saw this. I went, So
it's a category page, and it's
yeah. So I just think that was funny, and ultimately, I know this was more about Queen Bean than the game itself, but there's not much that I can say about the game other than I promise it's a good time. The only other thing that I had, but I unfortunately didn't have the time to collect it and discuss it and bring it forward, is that there are so many references in the game to cum that
I'm sorry.
yes, you heard me correctly.
I
took
just played through
screenshots.
this.
Chris, I took screenshots and I will send them to you.
Okay. I that must have gone over my head.
It had to have, but there were several, and I looked at Anthony and I was like, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing, or am I being weird?" And Anthony was like, "I 100% see what you're seeing," and I was like, "Okay." And so, okie dokie. And so I took the screenshots. They're on my Switch, but with the time crunch of this week, and a lot of things going on, I unfortunately did not get them to bring them to the table tonight. Perhaps Christopher, if you would validate me, I can do a post edit quick recap or something, but
Sure.
there's no need to truly do that. I would rather just plant this little seed, no pun intended, in everybody's head.
Oh my god.
And allow you to, if you should partake, once you see it, you can't unsee it, and it paints everything else.
Okay.
Again, no pun intended.
Oh my god.
In a very particular light.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't.
Can I share one?
I'm not even. Oh, you have it?
Yeah. So in this area, the area that I circled is where you should look. And Kelsey, do you wanna explain this one? Do you remember?
I would rather you, because I'm burnt out.
So
and I can't recall.
This is the basement of the Royal Bean Academy. And there is a block that you hit for an item right next to this puddle of what appears to be frozen water that is very white. And when you get the item that's right next to that puddle, you receive nut.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
Huh.
Okay.
And that happened several times in a row. But then also there was explicit dialogue that was exchanged that I was like, what? And had to like take screenshots and rewind and like listen to it again. And I was like, wow. Like there were some things that were more like if you were looking for it, like in this instance, if you were looking for this and you saw that you were picking up nut in the white goo, like you can draw the conclusions, but it's not like explicit. There were other things that were like actual dialogue that occurred that I took screenshots of that I was like, what the fuck? I was like, there's no way that this made it all the way to the end without somebody looking at it and going, eh, and then just them doing it anyway.
But
it's very wholesome if you're not looking for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's a very good game.
Yeah, I missed it then.
I'm right now trying to look for, because I definitely sent one to Anthony once and I just can't find it, but continue.
While you're doing that, I just played this game. I played and beat it in March. Just like it was just like another one. I was like, oh, I played this game a lot when I was a kid and never finished it because I never finished any games when I was a kid. I had a short attention span. And I generally I'm like Kelsey, like I'm not super into turn-based RPGs. I think I'm getting better at them, like at the idea of playing them. But this game's an absolute delight. It is just so creative. It has so many fun boss fights. It has there's a lot of grinding, and that aspect of it can be a tiring. But I definitely just love the story. I love the characterizations. I know after a while, Alpha Dream ran out of steam, and some of the Mario and Luigi games of recent years fell apart, and then that ended up having their studio closed down, because they just were not doing well. But man, I hope we do return to a day of like where you have like these kind of RPGs show up again, because they are a lot of fun. It's fun to have new characters and new worlds introduced into the world of Mario, and I think that they just do such a good job of of having like they do such a good job of world building overall. And it has a great villain. It has great side characters. um I really love so many aspects of this game. I think one of my favorite characters is a hermit crab, that you have to that has like one of the pieces of the bean star that you have to collect, but is on top of his shell, and it looks like a Christmas tree. And
Yes.
he's really really proud of it, but because you have to take the star, he gets really really upset, and so you have to fight him. But he's just like a misunderstood older hermit crab, and so once you like quote unquote defeat him, he just asks that you find something to replace the star on top, and then when you do that, like, he ends up being really happy, and it's just a really wholesome moment in the game that makes me very happy. um and that's just a standout moment. But there's so many moments like that in the game that just are strong character things that like you don't get out of a Mario game typically, and so it's nice to have it in this one.
I have not yet found what I'm looking for, other than the time that I took a picture of exactly what Anthony just explained with just my people standing right next to it. But I feel like I have now staked a claim that I can't back up. So I'm on a mission to prove it, but not on this podcast. I will let people go.
What I like about Kelsey's screenshot is that Mario is looking away from the squirt pile, and
The squirt
Luigi's just staring at the back of Mario's head. It's like this tells a story.
Luigi's just like, Mario, do you see the cum shot? And Luigi's just like, no, no, look away, no,
No.
it's funny, Mario. Anyways,
Anyway.
anyone have anything to say about Superstar Saga?
The only Mario and Luigi game that I beat myself was Bowser's Inside Story, and that is by far my favorite one. It's a very good one.
Yeah, I would suggest that everyone check out. I think all three games, Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, and Bowser's Inside Story, I think are like
nice trilogy.
Yeah, really really good trilogy. It kind of drops off after that, but those three are really really fun. I've played a good amount of all three. Obviously now I've beaten Superstar Saga. I would like to go back and finish Partners in Time and Inside Story at some point. But yeah, I very much recommend it.
Yeah, the combat in Superstar Saga is so much fun because there's like a timing and a skill component to it. You see the same thing in Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door at least, and the Wii one, I think.
Yeah, not so much the Wii one, but yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely 1,000-Year Door. Super Paper Mario, it was the one with no battle system that you just jumped on enemies, and people were not happy about that.
Oh,
When
really?
you guys were saying the Wii one, I thought you meant something small.
the
No.
wee little one.
I didn't realize
No.
I was like, the Wii one. There's one called the Wii one.
Yeah,
The
I
super
personally
tiny Mario?
liked Super Paper Mario, but that's just me.
The darkest fucking ending to any Mario ever.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, what the heck? That's the one
it's
thing I
fucking
still
excellent.
remember about that
Yeah.
game.
Big fan.
Yeah. But I'm such a little shit because when I play the Superstar Saga version on Nintendo Switch Online, I abuse the rewind feature to get the most out of rolling for your stats when you level up. I'll be like, I don't want a +3. I want a +4. And I'll sit there for like 2 minutes and just re-roll. I can tell you that I have the most fucking jacked Mario and Luigi. I have taken out bosses in 3 turns or less. And I have the XP doubler, so I like level up twice from bosses. It is incredible. Kelsey was like, could you like level up my characters? And I was like, hell
Because
yeah,
I couldn't.
I can.
I reached a point where I could no longer deal because I'm a baby, and I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I just want to enjoy the game, and I can't because I keep running into these fucking beans with eyebrows, and they won't leave me alone. And so I just had like a little meltdown for myself, and like said that I essentially would stop playing the game. And then Anthony feels responsible to step in and like make that better for me. So he offered, and I was going to be out all day, and was like, hey, since you're going to be home, like if you don't mind, could you try for me? So go ahead, Anthony.
And part of it's selfish too, because like I'd be like, yeah, I'll help you beat the boss. But like her characters were under leveled, and so the boss would just be going on and on and on.
Because I would actively avoid all of the little enemies in the game because I didn't want to bother with the fighting. But then you cut your nose to spite your face essentially, because then
Yeah.
you're under leveled and you can't do anything.
But like in my game, Mario and Luigi are bloodthirsty. Like if they see a creature, they will attack it and kill it on sight, right?
Bite its head off like Ozzy Osbourne in the bat.
Yeah. And so like I just texted Kelsey after like an hour. I was like, your Mario and your Luigi are eating beef.
And he literally had leveled me up like 3 times what I was in the matter of an hour.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's fun. I like when you have RPG games. Like, this is the right balance to me because you can over level if you enjoy that, which I do. Like, I don't mind some tedium to get like really strong and just breeze through the game. But you can also like maybe do half the battles and just play through it normally. I feel like ultimately it strikes a good balance of like getting you to engage with the combat without punishing you too much. And the combat is so much fun. It has like different prompts for like different combo moves. I'm preaching to the choir, I know, but like I just like it. It's fun. It's a shame that they shut down because I really would love to see more Mario games like this get made.
I hope we will get it. I think that it's I think that there is something to be said about Nintendo. Like there's definitely franchises that they've given up on, but I think they also have a knack for bringing things back every once in a while out of nowhere. And you're like, holy shit, they're doing this, like, and so and like they obviously could afford to do it. Will they do it? I guess is maybe another question, but I think that we'll get another one of these days, hopefully. Yeah. And I think with that, we will close out this episode. Next month, right now, written in our slot is the best licensed games 2. As in, best licensed games the second time we're doing this.
We're only allowed to pick sequels.
Right. Well,
Ooh.
I might be able to do that actually, considering my options. But yes. So we're gonna do that next month for May. I honestly I would do best Zelda games if like me and Walsh have never really played a Zelda game, so that would be hard. Although we could have done like Zelda like games, but whatever, it's fine.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, that doesn't have to be next month necessarily. I just figured with the Tears of the Kingdom hype and all that. Anyways, folks, thank you all so much for tuning in for this month's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all go see that spunky overall plumber in the movies because apparently it's good according to Matt.
Good.
Damn. We didn't get Wash to talk about the he went to Super Mario World Universal in
Oh
LA.
my god.
But he said that if we do like he said like a Mario Kart themed I don't think we can do a specifically Mario Kart themed episode because not everybody did.
We'll
Maybe
do
a mini coop.
He said a mini coop. Yeah.
Yeah, do a mini
Yeah,
coop.
yeah. So I definitely want to talk to him about that because he's the first one out of all of us to actually go to there, and he said that he really liked it. So I'm definitely curious to hear his thoughts more on that. But anyways, folks, thank you all so much for listening. Game on. The Gaming Coop is brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Follow us on Twitter at The Gaming Coop or follow our other work at Team Chaos Pods.